Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen Odd and these are Karen's Oddities. I've tried to record the video on this subject probably 4 times now. I had one, I uploaded it, I felt the video was too long, I was kind of hungover, so I said let's give it one more shot, let's record it, let's give it one more shot. I created a short talking about a date that I was on. It said date 3 part 1. And then I created another short talking about, I wanted to give you guys an update on that date and that person and essentially how my date with this person just went left. Okay. So I don't want this to be a 40-minute video like the one that I uploaded. So I need to consolidate. Essentially, at some point within the last couple of months, I told myself that I'm only dating someone new 3 times. And for me, dating can mean a lot of different things. For me, it meant I'm only going on a date with a new person 3 times. I am going to give the person and the connection 3 tries to let me know if this is a connection that I think I'm interested in pursuing, if this is a connection that I'm interested in developing, if this is a connection that I'm interested in fighting for, that I'm interested in putting in effort for. And after the 3rd one, if I don't feel it, I don't feel it. But I want to give everything at least 3 tries, right? Because I can be someone where I date a lot, and it never really leads to anything. I'll keep dating you. We can go on trips together, we can go to dinner, I can meet your family, we can take family trips, and we're dating and I'm happy, right? But I don't necessarily see you as a significant other or as husband material, etc. So this person, I want to start by saying we connected professionally. And when I connect with people professionally within my work, I try to be super cautious because my work is super important to me. I have a strong work ethic, my appearance in work, how I'm perceived, that's my appearance, how others relate to me in the workspace, what I'm known for in work is super important to me. I love my job. I love my team. I love the people that I work for, the company that I work for. It's something that's very near and dear to me. And in some ways, it's very much representative of who I am. So when I connect with someone professionally, I have always had this rule: don't mix business with pleasure. Don't mix it. Just don't. Because it never really ends well, right? Even if we find attraction in people physically, intellectually, if we think that's the one for me, I'm just like, I'm not doing it. There's so many people in the world, like, I don't care. I'm not pursuing something that I connected with professionally. So in this case, I want to be clear. This person does not work for the same company that I work for. They work in a separate company, but we are connected through professional realms, okay? I would never be dating a boss or anything like that, to be very clear. So we connected last year, and last year we had a first. It wasn't a date. They said they wanted to connect with me. They wanted to talk some ideas, like professional, and I said, okay, let's talk. I could have said, yeah, let's connect via Teams, Zoom, let's have a phone call, but they said they wanted to meet in person and have lunch. And in my mind, I already thought, like, okay, they clearly are interested in something else with me. But I'm like, whatever, let's see what they have to say. So we connected. Let me fast forward. Before that, the first time I met that person, when I met them, you know, like sometimes you meet people and they like give you those like sexy eyes, like what do they call them? Bedroom eyes. Like he gave me those and I'm just like, okay. And in my mind, I'm like, I feel like he was giving me those eyes. So I told my mom, I was like, I feel like this guy was giving me those eyes. And she's like, you're crazy. You think everyone wants you. No, I know when people are attracted to me, and I know when people are trying to give me that signal without directly giving me that signal. And that's what he gave me. And the reason I knew that is because following that first time that we met, he sends me an email and he says something along the lines of, I really admire your work ethic, or you do so great. You're so great. So then I wanted to back up to that, because when he asked me to connect in person, I thought maybe, one, I knew he found me attractive, but I thought maybe he wanted to connect with me professionally because he wanted to offer me a job in his company. Because that's happened to me before, right? Where people want to talk to you one-on-one, but it's not because they're interested in dating you. It's because they like the way you work. They like the way you handle your business, and they want to offer you a position or see where you're at professionally, and if you're interested or looking for something new. That's what I thought was happening. So we connect, and he makes it very clear, you know, he finds it attractive. He's undergoing a divorce. Yeah, red flag number 1, right? Undergoing a divorce, it's not final, and they've been separated for I don't know how many years, blah, blah, blah. He's older. Let me talk about that. He's older than me, substantially older. He has children that are near my age. I'm trying to be strategic about what I share without sharing too much. But I don't have an issue with that. Like, I've dated men that are older. I've dated men with kids. Never seriously, but I've dated. You know, I've dated a lot. So I'm like, that's not a big deal to me. And what else? So we had that date. That date was fine. Like, he said, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm not. I'm not looking for anything serious right now. And in my mind, like, that's all I needed to hear. You're not looking for anything serious? I am. Although sometimes some would argue that I don't act like it. So I'm like, this is not going to work. So it tapered off, it died off, whatever. Fast forward to this year, January, he reaches out again. He said he's been thinking about me, whatever. He wanted to connect. And I said, what the hell? You know, I'm like, you had this 3-date rule, Karina. Like, the first one, it wasn't really a date. Let's give it the solid 3 and see if there's anything there. Because there could be potential. And I did think it was important for me to date outside of my box, outside of my usual norm, outside of the usual type of men that I find attractive, the usual type of men I go for, the usual type of men that go for me. I'm like, step out of your comfort zone. Maybe that's where your person is. So we have our first date. Our first date is at a really cute bar in a city that's like 40 minutes away from me, but it was super cute, super romantic, super chill. I was super late. I'm always running late. That's like one of my ongoing things that I'm working on. Super late, but it was chill. There was like this booth in the corner, and the bar was just like all lit red. It was a really fancy bar. Not fancy, it was just really cute. Romantic. We talked, and red flag number 2, because the first one is I'm divorced and I'm going through my divorce. This is the second red flag. And I'm just like, as I'm talking it through, I'm trying to capture all the red flags that should have stopped me before. The second red flag is, well, we're at the date. He's like staring at me like this, like, but closer. Okay, I'm not gonna get close to the camera. And he's like, you're so beautiful. Your skin is so beautiful. Have I told you how beautiful you look today? But he said that like multiple times in like a 2-hour date. And I'm just like, 1, do you have dementia? Do you have Alzheimer's? Or did you take an edible before you got here that's making you like a little bit wacky, right? But I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, he's complimenting me. Okay, I appreciate that. It was just a bit excessive. And when it's excessive complimenting, it's weird. So I was like, okay, whatever. That was weird, but maybe he's just like on an edible or on a perk. It's like, I doubt he does perks. That's not funny. Drug use is not funny. But I'm like, he probably took an edible or he probably smoked, which, mind you, I would find that annoying because, 1, I don't engage in drug activity. And if you do, that's fine. Everyone do what they want, but just don't engage in it when we're first getting to know each other and when we're going out to have a date, because we're on 2 different mental levels and it's just not cool. It's not a good vibe. So we had that date. It was fine. And then we had a second date, and it was even better because we talked for like 4 hours. It was very casual. It was probably a Thursday. We had lunch. We were there for like 4 hours, almost till they closed, talking about all sorts of things. And I'm like, okay, this is a man that I can talk to, and I can talk to him about different things, and he's older. So maybe he's not just looking to sleep with me. And we talked about that too. We talked about the fact that, you know, I like to take things slow, and these days men don't like to take things slow. And I said, you know, if it's too slow for you, then I'm letting you know right now, this isn't for you, whatever. That was fine. We understood each other. It seemed like we were speaking the same language, whatever. Day 2, he did try to kiss me. This is red flag number 3. He tries to kiss me. I say, you know, I still feel like there's some thing there because we used to work together. I don't feel comfortable kissing you yet. Like, I'd like to wait. He understands and is respectful of that, which is a plausible. Is that a word? Whatever. You know what I mean. But, because a lot of men don't always respect that boundary, right? They do what they want and they take what they want, which is really unfortunate and really crappy. So he doesn't do that, but then he hugs me, and he hugs me like super duper tight. And he's like, I just want to feel what your body feels like. And I'm just like on the other side, like, bro, what the fuck? That's freaking weird. Mind you, I think that's weird. Tell me if you think that's weird or not, okay? It's one thing if you really have that thought and you really want to feel what my body feels like. And it's a whole other thing when you say it out loud. When you say it out loud, it's creepy. Okay, because I have a lot of thoughts, intimate thoughts, that I don't say out loud about people because I don't want to creep them out and I don't want to seem like a creeper. So there's that. Then he goes in for a second hug, whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, I gotta go. My dogs are at home. Blah, 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 I gotta drive home. At the second hug, y'all, he hugs me, and I had my hair down, which my hair's not that long, but my hair's down. And he's like, but it was like louder. He's like, I want to see what you smell like. That's creepy. I'm sure that if I look up characteristics of a rapist or of a sexual assault person, a person that commits sexual assault, sniffing people or weird, I'm sure that's up there. I'm sure that's up there. That's creepy. I didn't say anything, but I'm just like, what the flip-flop is going on? I think I get in my car, I call my friend, I'm like, bro, so happened. And he's like, what? He's like, that's so weird. But I'm like, whatever. You know, time passes. I had talked about me taking him out on a date because I mentioned this in one of my other videos, right? Where it's like, I think it's important to switch the game up, right? So I like inviting men on a date, and if we're dating and it's going well, I want to treat on the date, right? So we talked about that, and I scheduled it, but something went on with work, so then I canceled it. And then we hadn't talked for a minute, then he reaches out again 2 weeks ago. This date was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. So he reaches out, he wants to reconnect, he wants to go to a exhibit, art exhibit, whatever. And I'm like, oh, cool, that's exciting, that's different, let's do it. And then I figured I will treat him to dinner because I canceled the last time and I said I was going to. So give or take, this was date number 3. Mind you, I said I'm doing 3 dates. Although I had already had those red flags before, I said I'm doing 3 dates because I'm a little dumbass and I should have not done the 3rd date, but I did anyway because I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, I know people can be weird, people can be strange. Like, I have weird things about me. We all have our quirks and stuff, and I don't want to just discredit someone because of something simple like that. And maybe I do need to discredit people quickly, right? Because I'm wasting my time and I end up in weird situations like the one I ended up on date number 3. Date number 3, I want to pause there. Another red flag for me, I feel that this man, it's either he's cheap or he has money issues. Okay? Both of those, in a sense, are a red flag to me. Not because I expect you to pay for all my stuff, because I expect you to pay for my bills. No, I don't want to date someone that is not financially secure or stable. I don't need that level of stress in my life. Like, I have my finances that I have to worry about. I don't want to have to worry about yours as well. I don't want to have to limit the way that I live because your money is tight. I just don't want to. And maybe that makes me shallow. Call it what you want. It is what it is. So I got cheap vibes in the second date. You may ask how or why, potentially. Because he wanted to share a meal. And maybe that's not cheap, but I thought it was cheap. When I go out, I want to eat what I want to eat. I may not eat the whole thing, but I want to order what I want. And if I want to take leftovers, I'm going to take leftovers. And I'm not saying I'm going to go out of my way to order the most expensive thing, but I want to order what I want, and I don't want to feel restrictive about what I'm consuming. Maybe that makes me a greedy fat bitch. Maybe I am a greedy fat bitch. I don't know. But I just thought, I'm like, okay, like, I guess we can share. I wasn't going to act salty or weird about it because then that reflects poorly on myself. But in my mind, I'm like, this is odd. It's not something that I'm used to. Whatever. Date 3, we go to the exhibit. Oh, cheapness again. For the exhibit, there are 2 versions of this exhibit. One is a not traveling exhibit, but it's like a rotating exhibit that happens, I think, across the US. I don't know if it's across the world. I know it's across the US for sure. And it's pretty expensive. Like, the ticket prices, I think they're $70 a person. That's what I thought we were doing. No. We went to the free exhibit, okay? Where it's free 99. $0.99. Which is fine. And I know I sound like a bitch. It's fine because we had a great time. But it's like, I thought we were going to do the cool one. The really cool one. But we didn't. So I'm like, okay, there's probably money issues here. Like, you want to do free dates. And maybe, again, maybe I'm going to watch this back and maybe I'm going to get feedback that I'm being a bitch and unrealistic and I'm expecting too much. That's fine. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to accept when I'm wrong. I promise you I am. I want to learn. I want to know. And this is kind of why I'm putting out this video out there, because I want to get feedback from you guys to tell me, was I asking for too much? Am I reading too much into the situations that I consider a red flag? You tell me. Okay? So we go to the exhibit. After the exhibit, we were talking about thrifting, which I have a video on thrifting that I'm going to post tonight. And I'm super excited about some of the things I found, not on this date, but with my mom earlier this morning. We ended up at some cool, really cool, like quirky furniture store where I bought some really cute little quirky gifts. And then next to it, there was a really quirky restaurant. We ended up there. I love quirky random things. And we ended up deciding to have dinner there. I wanted to go get hibachi, but that place was like right there and it was new and it supposedly had like a really good menu, whatever. We did dinner there. I paid for dinner. Dinner was good. We had some drinks. He did the same thing he did on the first day. We're like, you look absolutely beautiful today. Mind you, and held the stare like this for like a good amount of time. And I'm just like, thank you. And I know I sound like a bitch, but it's like when someone is doing that over and over to you in a short window of time, and they're just staring at you, it's fucking weird, okay? It's fucking weird. Like, call me a bitch, that's fine. But once it happens to you, you'll be like, this is weird. And it's also, it makes me question, how genuine is it? When things are excessive, you should question how genuine they are, okay? So we do that date. After there, he says, oh, let's go to some bar by my apartment. You know what that means, right? You want me to get close to your apartment. You want me to go to your apartment. You want me to park my car there. You want me to go sit on your couch with you. You're trying to create the sex zone. That's what I call it. Like, I know when men are trying to create situations to get me into the bed or to see how far or close they can get me to their bed. I know how this works. I've dated far enough to know how this works. We go to the bar. At the bar, it's cool, right? We have a good date. He's talking of like I have 2 drinks at that bar, and I didn't drink a lot. I didn't, but I did. I had a glass of wine, a mixed cocktail, and then I had 2 mixed cocktails at the second bar. So I had 4 drinks. I don't think that's a lot, and that might make you alcoholic, but whatever. So we go to the second bar. I have my drink. We're sitting there. We're talking. Then there's like this weird thing where he's like rubbing on my thighs. Like, you know, I'm sitting like in a bar stool right now. Like, let's say he's sitting right next to me and like we're sitting in front of each other. He's like rubbing my thighs. Why is he like, does this do anything for you? What is that supposed to do? What is that supposed to do for me? And I literally said, what is that supposed to do for me? And then he's like, well, you know, usually like if I'm touching a girl like this, like she'll be like all over me. And I'm just like, I don't know, in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what kind of girls you've been dating, where you find these girls, but I am not in heat. I know that's really rude to say, like, because that comparison to dogs, but I'm talking about myself. That's not going to do something for me. I'm not a super physically affectionate person, period, and I'm not going to be that way in public, especially when I barely know you and we have not shared any real moments of intimacy. I haven't even kissed this man yet. So I'm like, yeah, no, it doesn't really do anything for me. I told him, like, I'm not a very affectionate person. So then he goes to the restroom. Why does some lady come up to me and she's like, honey, you are so beautiful. I just want you to know you can do 1,000 times better. And then she runs off. But I could tell she was wasted. I'm like, what a bitch. Okay. I couldn't even have a conversation with her to like talk through what she meant. I don't think this man is ugly. I think he's attractive. If I didn't find him attractive, I would not be going out with him. And I know that sounds shallow, but attraction is important, right? So that's that. After that, we decide, you know, to call it a night. I had to drive back home. It's like 35 minutes away from me where he lives. My car was parked at his apartment. We go to his apartment. I had to use the bathroom. I use the bathroom and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get going. He has music playing. He had some water for me, which, mind you, don't really drink the fucking water if you don't know if you're gonna get roofied. I didn't get roofied. Spoiler. Not spoiler, but I did not get roofied. Let me just be very clear about that. I drank some water, whatever, to like, so not even sober, but just like, it's good to drink water before you're gonna drive late at night after you've drank 4 drinks, whatever. He's like, sit on the couch, come on. And I'm like, oh fuck, this man's gonna wanna kiss me. I know he is. And it's not that I didn't wanna kiss him, but it's just like, I wasn't really feeling him the way he was feeling me. So it's like, I didn't really wanna kiss him. And a lot of times, like, men expect that. Men expect that. At the end of sometimes date 1, date 2, or after a couple, you know, they're expecting some type of physical response, reward, reaction. And it's like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, can we not just have a good time? And maybe that makes me like, I don't know, delusional, but can we not just have a good time? So I kiss him. We kiss. We kiss. And I don't feel anything, you know, like there are times when I've kissed someone and I'm like, I feel electricity running through my body. Like those are the type of kisses and those are the type of people that I get like starstruck on, where I'm like, oh my God, why doesn't he love me back? Those are the ones that break my heart. Okay, when I feel electricity, that's what I want. I want to feel fire. And if I don't feel fire, I don't want it. And maybe that's messed up, whatever. I don't feel anything and I'm like, whatever. So then like, he's been drinking, he wants to kiss more and he's getting handsy and I'm like, you know, pushing him away, whatever. Not super aggressive. He does push me down, like to lay down. I lay down, whatever, because I'm like, whatever, like, let's get this make-out session, not sex, because I did not have sex with this man, had no plans to. I'm like, let's get this make-out session over with and done with so I can get the fuck out of here and get home to my dogs. I feel like I'm sharing a lot in this video about myself. But anyway, he's laying on top of me. My eyes are open. He's kissing me. My eyes are like open like this, like fucking dead. They don't have that scary look, but they're like open like they have them right now. But just imagine I'm laying down. He's like on my face like this. Pretty girl. You're a pretty little girl. And he's like staring at me. Pretty girl. Like literally like touching, and I'm just like, it reminded me of that that movie Dumb and Dumber, where the little boy in the wheelchair has a bird and the bird is like dead and they give it to him and he's like, pretty bird, pretty. That's literally what it reminded me of that. And then it was reminding me of just like some Jeffrey Dahmer type shit. Okay. And I'm making a joke of it, but it's honestly not funny because I swear to God, I had a moment in my mind where I'm like, one, I'm going to get raped. Two, I'm going to get skinned and eaten alive. And it was like a sense of like fear where I'm like, I am not comfortable here and I need to get out. In my mind, I'm like, bitch, you need to get the fuck out of here. Okay. And then when we get up, whatever, and he's like, hug me. And I'm like, I did hug you. He's like, hug me again. He's staring into my eyes like this. He's like, hug me like you want to hug me. But it's like, we've been drinking. So I'm like, oh my God, like this is so fucking, one, it's so fucking awkward. Two, it's so fucking uncomfortable. And who says that? Hug me like you want me. Like if I'm hugging you and it doesn't feel like I want you, why do you want me to keep hugging you? So red flag number 5 or whatever number we're on. Clearly this man needed a different type of validation. I think that the pretty little girl comment and the caressing my face was creepy as fuck. I think maybe he's probably into the fact that I'm substantially younger than him. That was weird, especially because he has daughters. Asking me to hug him like I want to hug him was awkward as fuck and weird. And I'm sorry if you're watching this, sir, but I'm just letting you know all the things that just like were not it for me. It turned me off. It made me uncomfortable. I didn't say that at the moment because we had both been drinking, and I've been in situations where you can upset men and they don't know how to fucking act. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that us as women have to feel like we have to play along with certain things and behave a certain way so that we don't get sexually assaulted, so that things don't escalate. We have to be careful in a lot of situations. And I've been through a lot of situations where I have to consider that. I have to consider my move. And yes, this situation did make me reflect on like the choices that I make, the decisions that I make, who I spend my time with, who I hang out with. I don't know this man. You know what I mean? I know him professionally, but I don't really know him like that. And I put myself in a situation where I wasn't comfortable. Like I recognize I did that, and I have to be more selective about who I share my time with, what spaces I go into, who I go with, and maybe not doing the 3-date rule. You know, I think that this is a reminder, not just to me, but to all of us when you're going on dates. If you get the red flag that's red enough, that's enough. You don't need to do 1, 2, 3 dates to give people the benefit of the doubt. If that fucking flag is red, just cut it off. Just cut it off. If it's not there, it's not there. Don't feel bad. Be honest with people. Be transparent with people, because sometimes you end up in situations where you're just in too deep and you really can't come back from that. So essentially that was my experience. It didn't get any weirder than that. And I think that some of the things that were experienced were weird enough for me and uncomfortable enough for me. At the end, I said, you know, I have to go. My dogs are waiting for me. I have a long drive home. He understood, whatever. And I was able to peacefully walk away without giving any more of myself or being any more uncomfortable than I was in that moment. The following day, he reached out to me, called me Buttercup, and then I didn't answer. And then he said, is Buttercup not okay? And then I answered, but I was very like short. The next morning he called me, the following morning, it was a weekday already. He calls me at like 8 a.m. I didn't answer because I'm like working. And then he asked me something about, have I ever been to this one museum in this one state? And I said, no, I haven't. And he said, would you like to go with me? And then I just told him, I said, I don't think that you and I are compatible. I think that we want different things. I think that we're looking for different things, and we're honestly interested in different things. Like, I think that the type of, I didn't say all this, but that's punto. That's what I said, right? But I think that, you know, he's looking for a different experience than the one I'm willing to provide him. I noticed that we're not on the same page. We're not on the same page. And that's my story. And now it's not this is not a 40-minute long video, thank God. But let me know what your thoughts are. Am I being dramatic? Was that weird? Were those red flags? Let me know, what are some of the red flags that I maybe missed in our connection? Or what are some red flags that you've missed or that you've noticed to consider red flags that you didn't necessarily consider red flags in the past? And I think that what I will do, and I have so many video ideas on like dating and relationships, and I want to involve my friends, but it's like, it's so difficult to coordinate people, and it's so difficult to get all people at the same place at the same time. But I want to do like a red flag series. Like, what was your red flag, or what is a different red flag that's not common that you consider a red flag? So if you have any of those red flags, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.